All right, guys, we are back. I am Hunter. This is Trey. And today we're just recapping some of the NFL games, everything that happened this weekend, maybe a couple headlines, something that, is newsworthy, if you will. And before we waste too much time, these recaps aren't going to be super, super long. They're just to
Mhm.
get out our thoughts, basically. But I'm going to go ahead and throw it to Trey, and we're just going to jump right into this.
Yeah, crazy weekend of football. Kickers were absolutely putrid. Um, Cowboys suck. Steelers win. Basically, the worst combination you can have as a Cowboys fan in southwestern Pennsylvania. But here we are. Let's get at it. All right, we're back with the NFL Week 1 betting recap. I felt like it went pretty well for me. 9-6. We both hit our best bet, so that was good. I felt like they were both pretty easy. Buccaneers -2.5. Jonathan Taylor anytime touchdown. I went 9-6. The ones
Yeah,
that I lost weren't really close. Hunter with the flip 6-9 wasn't a great weekend for him.
it was not.
Um, yeah, Douglas, if you want to talk about your card, about maybe some of the ones that how unfortunate you were.
Um,
Well, I mean, let's be honest, there were some bad picks.
I mean,
Patriots,
yes.
Patriots never stood a chance. Saints, those games are always crazy and they never usually cover. Bengals -6.5 was crazy. I thought that was a crazy pick. But
You know,
go ahead.
you live or die by some of the boldness, and I've been dying a lot lately by them for sure. Not much living has been happening.
Well, I'll tell you what, you're doing a lot better job in the NFL than in college
No
because
doubt, no doubt it's not close. It's absolutely not close. I
yeah,
think I'm
are you putting yourself on fade alert for college betting?
yes, I
Just
would
take
fade me
just
for
take every
sure.
every other pick.
I You'll make money if you do that. There's just no doubt about it. If I like something, take the
Yeah.
opposite and you're going to profit. Um yeah, no, I like so the Saints, at first I thought it was crushed completely.
Hmm.
Then they start rallying back,
Yeah.
and I'm like, okay, we got a shot here. And then they just caca the bet again. So
Yeah.
I don't know, man. The Jaguars money line looked terrible. They get a lead, and
Yeah.
Carson Wentz actually, with adversity, came through and beat them, which I'm stunned
I,
because he couldn't do it on a better roster last year, which makes zero sense to me.
I was having that conversation watching the game with my dad and my brother. I was like, you got to fade Carson Wentz. It's the number one rule of gambling. Just fade Carson Wentz. And he looked so bad in like the late second, early third quarter of that game. And then the fourth quarter, like he just was, I mean, again, but then I said, rule number one, fade Carson Wentz. Rule number two, don't bet on the Jags.
Yeah, I
So it
mean,
was just like a mismatch of the two things, the two most important rules in NFL betting. So
that's literally what I said to
yeah.
myself is this is what I get for betting on Jacksonville. But if I had taken Washington, Jacksonville would have beat them. So
Oh
like
yeah.
that's just
Yeah.
how it goes for me, definitely.
I mean, we both had that one. So and ETN, I had ETN at Dollar Dream, but just in terms of the game, ETN
Dude.
dropping a wide open touchdown, killed.
Yeah, he would have hit me a player prop if he would have
Hmm.
caught that. For sure, I would have cashed on a four-leg touchdown parlay there. But James Robinson will get two, so
Yeah.
that's very nice. That looks well for
Yeah.
him.
Some of the bigger games, Bills Rams. I think we both had Bills -2.5. I
We,
think we called that one pretty well.
yep.
Bills were just hungrier. Rams were a little Super Bowl drunk, even though they weren't on the field for the ceremony. You could tell, like, I think Jalen Ramsey thinks that they're still going to have the same pass rush that they had last year because he did not look
He looked
focused.
bad.
Yeah.
He looked bad.
Um, that team without Von Miller, without a true edge rusher, is just not the same team.
Yeah.
Their offense to me was weird with all the motions and orbit motions and jet motions. Like, you're an NFL offense, man. Line up and run your plays. You don't have to. It's not high school where you're running a bunch of trick motions and stuff.
Yeah, I thought the Rams actually like should be concerned about how bad they looked. I know it's week 1 and it's so
Yeah.
early, but like besides Cup, there's no
No.
offensive
Yeah.
production at all. None.
Nothing.
No, he's so good that like he's going to get open and he'll get first downs, he'll get conversions, he'll be
Hmm.
open in the end zone, you'll get a touchdown like they did. But other than that, I
I mean,
mean, the offense stunk.
Tyler Higbee had 10 fantasy points. He had a solid day. He
Yeah.
didn't have he like I said, Higbee's not going to be, he'll never be a Kittle, a Waller, a Kelsey, but he'll be enough, a very good role player on an offense.
Yeah, Cam Akers, I think what
Yeah,
how many snaps did he even take that game?
I
Daryl
don't know.
Henderson ate
Yeah,
the snaps alive.
they love Henderson. Henderson's like Zeke. He'll just get 3 yards, and people are like, "Oh wow, you did a great job on that play."
That's
You know?
nice. Pat on the back for
Yeah.
nothing.
The next game, Steelers Bengals. That was way too many points to give up to the Steelers. Just way too many points. An insane amount of points. If that game would have been under a field goal, I definitely would have taken the Bengals. If it had been 2.5, I would have taken the Bengals. Anything over a field goal, I was taking the Steelers.
So now, yes, you're right. Essentially, obviously, statistically,
Yeah.
but Joe Burrow has never played a game that bad in his pro career. He hasn't.
That's a good defense, though.
I get it for sure. That definitely very good to do that to Burrow in that offense.
Yeah.
But the Steelers offense stinks, dude. It's so bad.
It is bad, but
It's bad.
when your defense is that good and creates turnovers and gives you short fields,
Yeah.
that's what it can do.
Yeah, absolutely. The defense deserves a round of applause. If it were up to me, and I know this isn't gonna happen, Trubisky'd be gone already. Just from that performance, I'd be going in the other direction. He didn't lose the game. He did nothing.
Did he even
Didn't
have
have
an
a turnover.
interception?
Nope, didn't have
Yeah.
a turnover. But he didn't do anything to win the game, and they should have dominated them with that turnover differential.
I don't know if you can replace a quarter. Like, I know you said something about what was your prediction as far as Trubisky
After the
leaving?
bye week, week 8, and then
Okay.
week 9's the bye week. Week 10, Pickett would come.
I understand that. Hypothetically, if the Steelers are undefeated by then, do you?
Well, no, you can't do anything.
Okay, that's what I mean. So if you,
so
you
no,
said
yeah,
you would
that's
replace
what
them, but if they win, you can't really replace them.
Exactly. That's what I said. No, this sounds so bad to me. I just said to our buddy Seth, I said, this sounds terrible. I wish we would have lost because we would have a reason, boom, to just pluck them out right now.
Yeah.
Because the defense played so well,
Well,
there's no reason to lose that game.
Well, McPherson helped them.
Absolutely.
Well, and I'll give McPherson the benefit of the doubt. They did have the backup tight end on long snapping, and it was just
the field goal was laces facing front as well.
It was a high snap. The hold wasn't great because of the high snap, so it was a whole mismatch. But if you're an NFL kicker, I mean,
not to mention McPherson's one of the best percentage-wise.
Yeah, and it wasn't even that far of a kick. What was it, like 23 yards or something? It wasn't even a 30
Yeah, it was a chip shot.
So it was just like, it was crazy that he missed that.
Could not agree more.
Next game, the one that we were split on, Raiders, Chargers. Raiders got to run the ball, man. I think Josh Jacobs had like less than 15 carries in that game.
Yeah.
You don't have a good offensive line. You can't sit back and expect to throw the ball. I don't care how good your receivers are. You have to start up with the run game. You have to RPOs. Josh Jacobs has to be the number one threat in that offense.
I would agree.
You have to make defenses game plan around stopping him, and then that opens up Waller, Renfro, Adams. If you try to go the other way around and go air first, you're just not going to win with that offensive line.
Exactly. And not only does it open up just the passing game, but so many elements to it. Like you could get them to bite on play action and just have someone take the top clean off. Like you have so many possibilities if you get the run going. And I'm not sure why they didn't, because I don't think the Chargers run defense is anything to call home about. I don't think it's bad. I just don't think it's that great. So I think they really should have tried to establish it early.
That's what I figured they would do. And that's why I bet them plus 3.5. I said Raiders are going to try to make this ugly, run the ball, get Renfro and Adams on the perimeter on some quick passes or something, but nothing too crazy, and just try to maintain, possession and play good defense, control the field position. But it was not what I expected, and
myself either. I mean, that's what I get for betting against what are my Super Bowl winners. So,
And I mean, Carr didn't look good either. Carr didn't look as good as I thought he would have.
yeah.
But then again, that's what I've always said. And he's not a young quarterback, but I've always said if you have a young quarterback, like when you get Stroud and Bryce Young coming out this year, the most important thing for the two teams that draft them are get them in front of a good O line.
Oh, for sure.
And I understand that kind of Chase worked out for Joe Burrow and whatnot, and then I understand it works out, but long term, if you want that quarterback to be healthy and confident, put them in front of a good O line.
Yeah.
Because Carr right now, he's not confident and that he has time to make the right read.
No, I mean, yeah. I feel bad for Burrow. I mean, last year, he got sacked 19 times in the playoffs alone.
It was a lot,
and
yeah.
56 in the regular season. I mean, you can't let that happen, dude. Plus, a guy that has the injury that he had the year prior, that's not a good look. I mean, that doesn't look good upon the organization as a whole, even.
Lyle Collins at right tackle. He was in Dallas for the start of his career. He was no match for Watt. I mean, I told my brother and my dad were like, oh, they got a new O line. They're gonna be able to stop us now. Yada yada yada. No, they're not. The Lyle Collins is not. I mean, I think there might be like 2 or 3 tackles in the league that can handle Watt, and Lyle Collins is not one of them. So
yeah.
Speaking of the Cowboys, Bucks at Cowboys was an absolute. It was a train wreck from Jump Street. They drove down and got the field goal. After that field goal,
yep.
Injuries. Connor McGovern ankle. Javon Curse. I think he sprained his MCL. Dak finger. It's over.
Already, you're saying it's not a done deal.
It's not over because this team will. It can't just do the right thing. They can't just go out and lose.
Yeah.
They have to. They're gonna. The Cowboys will probably never have a top 10 draft pick. And that because
that's how I feel about the Steelers.
If you're not a true Super Bowl contender, what are you doing playing hard?
Dude, that's the same way with the Steelers. It must be a pride thing or something.
Oh my goodness, I can't say if you're not a Super Bowl contender. And right now, your quarterback's going to miss probably 8 weeks. They're probably going to take him really slow.
You think 8 is that?
The 6 to 8 was the projection. I think they're going to take it really slow.
Okay.
And just make it 8 and be like, don't rush back and then you permanently screw up your hand.
Yeah.
So he's going to be out for until week 10 or something.
That's going to be rough. Oh, Coop.
Just
Coop,
lose.
baby.
Just lose.
No. Coop said we're going undefeated under me.
Go get a top 10, top 7 draft pick. It'll help so much more. Get Zeke out of the building. Pollard didn't even wow me last night, so I'm just and I'll get into it a little bit with my week 1 takeaway once we get down the line here a little bit, but my goodness. Just so bad. Last game, Packers Vikings. I had Packers -1.5. They were bad.
They were not good. Yeah.
And the big thing has been made out of the receivers dropping passes. Their defense just said, we're not going to cover Justin Jefferson. I literally think they said, number 18, that's not even who's that guy?
Yeah.
They pulled the Urban Meyer scumbag, who's 99, who's 18. We don't know. That's not covering.
Yeah, it's odd because I went into this thinking, they're going to stay in this game because of their defense. I would say, I told you, I think in our previous episode, I think they have a top 5 defense.
I said I'm not betting against this defense on tight lines.
Yeah. And boy, was I wrong, at least for the time being. We'll see the changes that get made, but I didn't like a lot of what I saw. Like the one play, Kirk hit Cousins when he was coming across the middle of the field.
There was twice. He hit him across the middle, and there was no one else in the picture.
There was no one even in the whole screen.
It was the craziest thing I've ever seen.
And the announcer even said, I forget who was calling the game. They said, how does he get that wide open? How do you let him get that wide open? Like, that was like Cooper Kupp last year. He's wide open. That's the first read, probably 75% of the plays that are passing. Yeah. And he's wide open, not a guy near him.
Did you see Jair Alexander, by the way, in the post game?
No.
Apparently, he had told like the defensive coaching staff, let me travel with him wherever he goes on the field. Let me line up across from him. I don't always have to play man, but let me at least make him think we're running man
Yeah.
or whatnot. And they said no. And I think it might have been the worst coaching decision
Yeah, I think
ever
Jair might be salty about that for sure. It
because it was bad. It was like
was very bad.
in the NFL, you can't let one guy beat you. I understand it happens from time to time, but you can't scheme a guy to let him beat you because Eric Stokes was no match for Justin Jefferson
Yeah.
when he lined up across from him.
I will keep the name anonymous here, but our friend that likes the Packers,
Yes.
he told me today I had seen him at Chipotle, and he told me the game was changed right off of Christian Watson dropping that touchdown.
I don't believe in that. I don't believe in
I
that.
think I don't know if the game would have been won. I'm not saying that, but I definitely think that altered a lot. I mean, that's 7 fast. That's a quick strike. He's walking in my opinion. They're not catching him.
If they kept
Rodgers put that ball, breadbasket.
The score might have been different. I agree with that.
The outcome could have still been the same. I agree.
But if that was their defensive strategy to try and stop Jefferson, it was never going to work.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. I mean, 9 for 184 and what, 2 tuds?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. So
if you had Justin Jefferson in fantasy, congrats on the week 1 win.
Yep, that's me. Yeah.
So just to remind, betting records after week 1, 9. We're both hit the best bet parlay, so congrats to us. I'm 9-6, Hunter's 6-9.
Don't worry, the NFL bets we're coming back.
We both have one more game though. I have the Broncos team total over 26.5, and you have the Broncos -6.5. So that game it's about to be played here in about an hour.
Yep.
So we still have one more. I have a chance to get the double-digit wins. You have a chance to not have such a terrible record. So, dollar in a dream.
Thank you.
Dollar in a dream. We went 4 for 14. It's the first week. I mean, lighten up on us.
Yeah.
First week, you don't know who's going to be, important to the offense as much. So, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Christian McCaffrey, Saquon Barkley, and Travis Kelce all scored. So that'll get better as we go along. Trust us.
Absolutely.
Time for the airing of grievances.
Of Festivus begins with the airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now you're going to hear about it.
I believe I have 3, but I don't know how many you have.
I got 3, but
okay. I'll start then.
Okay.
I got a pretty big one, pretty big name here. Mother Nature. Screw you, Mother Nature.
That's a good one.
For raining in Chicago. And I mean, on TV, it didn't look as bad, but if you saw some of the videos of the field, that field is terrible.
Dude, it was shredded.
It was did you see the picture of the line? There was a picture of it was from an end zone of the sideline. The line was like going like this. I don't know whether they painted the line like that or whether the rain did that. The line, like if you were catching a ball on the 15-yard line, you were out of bounds. If you were catching a ball on the 20-yard line, you were inbounds. That's how much that line moved. It was ridiculous.
So what I saw was a video before the game. They had the field crew out there with brooms.
Yeah,
dude,
they were
mopping off the water.
Yeah,
it was I've never seen anything like that.
That field, it must not drain well because it just sat in puddles.
Yep,
all over. It was bad.
Fields ran and slid.
I'm mad at Mother Nature because it prevented the over, which I think would have been a pretty easy over if it wasn't so rainy. But it was pretty cool to see them slide at the end.
Yeah,
all the Bears. That was admittedly pretty cool. But your first grievance you have to air.
Yeah, it's gonna be the Saints, no doubt about it. It's the Saints, and I know you told me careful.
Those games are always tight.
You did. I know you did.
It doesn't matter who's playing. One team could be a Super Bowl favorite. The other team could be going for the first overall pick. Those games are always tight.
Dude, I mean, we're talking. It wasn't even tight until the Saints decided to wake up in the third.
Yeah,
because for a while there, they were getting the doors blown off of them. It was not even a game. I said, what's going on here? I mean, Atlanta money line looked like an early cash out was going to pay well if you had the option to get that. You took the money line on Atlanta for some reason. But yeah, them to cover 5.5. Whenever I saw the score at halftime, I said, yeah, this is done. I mean, my parlay's fried again.
Yeah.
So that's what I get for not listening to you, because I knew deep down you were right about the Saints, Falcons, Bucks in that division. It's always just gritty and weird.
Mm-hmm.
So shame on me, I guess, but I was heartbroken, no doubt about it.
Yeah. My second team, the Packers. What a letdown. This team is supposed to be getting Aaron Rodgers another Super Bowl. Yeah, I don't believe it. I don't buy it for a second. Defense, we already talked about. Defensive planning against Justin Jefferson, abysmal. To not, they didn't even change anything. They didn't throughout the game. They didn't really change anything. Jefferson was always open. They weren't able to stop the run as well as they should have. That offensive line for the Vikings isn't anything really special. The front seven for the Packers is probably as good as anyone in the country. And then the receivers, I mean, you can't drop balls.
No, yeah, I mean,
and I'm not. I don't think Rodgers played good either. I think
as a whole they just played bad.
I think the deep ball to Watson is one as a clip that's going to get shown a bunch, like on Get Up or whatnot. They're going to be like, oh, Watson sucks. Look at him drop this. It was a great pass by Rodgers. Should he have caught it? Absolutely. I don't think Rodgers was all that great yesterday either.
I would agree. I would absolutely agree. That's not a bad one. I was going to put them in here, but I didn't because last year they did the same thing except worse. They had the New Orleans last year, and they got dismantled by Jameis and company without Michael Thomas even. So I'm waiting before I bring down the hammer, if you will. With my second pick, I had Cincinnati, which isn't necessarily a knock to Cincy. It's more of a praise to the Steelers, really. But I took Cincy minus 6.5, and I believe I was sitting on here saying, hammer it, lock it in.
Yeah.
It's over. And Pittsburgh's defense won the game by themselves. I'm not giving Trubisky an ounce of credit. He will get none from me. Zero, none. He didn't lose the game. He did nothing to win it, though. That is the best way I could word it. I wish we would have lost, because even if I didn't cover, I just wish the Steelers lost so I could see Pickett, because I know it's coming. It's just inevitable. The offense is so flat. There's nothing there. He had Pickens on a surefire touchdown.
Yeah.
And overthrew him. So
I was wondering why they weren't taking more shots.
I don't know if that's, coaching saying like, just play it safe. The defense is playing really good right now. It'll come to us naturally. Or if that's Trubisky not wanting to. I'm not sure how that worked, but Cincy should be ashamed of themselves. Truly. They really should. Five turnovers.
Yeah.
Burrow got sacked 5 times.
Talking about the Steelers offense. I mean, I know you probably know Eli Apple more than I do.
Yeah.
Because he played at Ohio State. I know Chidobe Awuzie because he was a corner for the Cowboys. He's not great covering deep. He's an underneath, cover 2 corner. Mm-hmm. That's why he's not in Dallas anymore, because Dan Quinn brought in his cover 3 defense and Chidobe just didn't fit.
Yeah.
So I thought they should have attacked them more deep, and they just didn't.
Yeah, no. And even when they threw it deep, a time or two, it worked well. You hit Freiermuth on that. I know it's a trick play, so a little bit different, but the fade to Deontay Johnson where he went up and made that one-handed catch, which was unbelievable. Mm-hmm. Like, he wasn't even giving guys a chance to make plays. And then when he did with Deontay, look what happened. He made a play.
Yeah.
Give the guys a chance to make a play.
My last team that I need to air some grievances with is the Colts, and specifically their first half offense. I had the team total at over 27. If you saw the fourth quarter, you think, oh, this team probably should have put up 50 because they just went up and down the field on the Texans defense in the fourth quarter. 3 points in the first half. I mean, Colts, you got Quentin Nelson. You got other good pieces on that offensive line. You got Jonathan Taylor. You got Matt Ryan. You don't have the best receiving core, but you got Pittman. You got Mo Alley Cox at tight end.
Yeah.
You should be able to line up and just score at will against that Texans defense. Mm-hmm. It was so pathetic, the performance that they had in the first half.
Well, even with the Colts too, like, I know that the other receivers are more like quote unquote unknown, but like I heard Paris Campbell looked great in camp and Matt Ryan loved him.
Yeah.
Nothing from Paris Campbell.
No.
Nothing. Alec Pierce. Don't know what's going on there, but that's a decent draft pick spent on a guy, and we see nothing. Naeem Hines looked better than most of the offense, really.
Yeah.
I mean, he was the second best pass catcher for sure.
And I think they had 2 trips inside the 10 in the first half, and they couldn't punch it in.
Yeah.
So I was just like,
yeah, that one's gonna hurt.
That was I thought when I saw them on their first drive when they were inside the red zone, I was like, oh, this is gonna hit easy. This is gonna hit in the third quarter. No.
Yeah, and I couldn't agree more. I was disappointed in that for sure. And then to end in a tie, like you're pathetic, you know?
Yeah.
Nobody wants to tie. I'd rather lose.
I brought the idea up of, and I know other people have had this idea. It wasn't a new idea, but basically when it comes down to overtime anymore, anyways, you're just trying to get inside your opponent's 40 and kick a field goal.
Yeah.
Why not just do a kickoff?
Doesn't make any sense, dude.
And it's the regular season, not in the playoffs. Don't do that in the playoffs because you know you actually want. But in the regular season, just each kicker pick one end, start at the 40, and then it's sudden death.
Yeah.
First guy makes, the second guy misses. First team wins.
I like that, definitely. And my last pick here is Jacksonville. I mean, I can't be mad because it's on me.
That was going to be my on me segment.
It is on me. It's not my on me segment. That's why I put it here, because I was between this one and another one. It's on me, but man, what are we doing? Like, that one crushed me more than all the rest because I had that straight bet on a money line for a lot. When I see him jump up and take that lead, and late in the fourth, I see Wentz resurge out of the dead from 3 years ago and pass for 300-something yards and 4 touchdowns. I'm sitting there thinking, my fault.
Yeah.
I bet on Jacksonville. That's what I get.
Yeah, so, if you punch in, if you go on your phone and you go into DraftKings or you go into FanDuel and you type in Jags money line and you hit bet, whatever amount you put in, you hit bet, proceed with caution.
Oh, for sure.
Knowing no matter who they play, that is not a lock. So
sad shame.
One thing I noticed about that game, especially in the second half, their pass rush has to be much better.
Yeah.
You have Josh Allen, who you took in the top 10 a few years ago. You have Travon Walker, who went 1-1. You got Caleb on Chase on from LSU. You have to be able to rush the passer late in games. And Wentz was on that one touchdown drive at the end of the game there. He just sat back and I had all day to throw.
Yeah. I mean, it was terrible, actually, because Wentz stinks. He stinks.
Yeah. My on me, Jags money line. I just said it. It was heartbreaking, I guess, as far as week 1 NFL bets go. But I was saying the whole game, you got to fade Wentz. You got to fade Wentz. You got to fade Wentz. Jags, they take the lead. I'm thinking this is exactly what I've been saying all game. And then Wentz makes the Jags defense look like Swiss cheese.
A heartbreaker, man. It really killed me. My on me is the 49ers -6.5. I should have looked into the weather conditions before I did anything.
Yeah.
I need to start doing that more. I always tell myself, check the weather, check the weather, check the weather. I usually do for most instances, and I didn't. Had I seen this and known that it was going to torrential downpour like it did, I probably just wouldn't have touched the game at all.
No, me either. I took the over. I just saw the line at 40.5. I said, wow, they really think the Bears defense or the Bears offense is that bad.
Yeah.
Which they're not great. But I saw that line at 40.5. I'm like, this is gonna be, I see the 49ers getting up, 17-3, and then in the first half, and then it kind of just, 3 touchdowns in the second half was all you need. So
yeah, that's just painful, man. Yeah. I mean, they killed me.
My one big takeaway from the week 1 of the NFL, you got to play in the preseason. The Chiefs, everyone's down on the Chiefs. Their starters played in the preseason.
Yeah.
You have to play teams. I understand injury concerns and whatnot. You have to play in the preseason. If you go the entire preseason without playing, without doing the prep up to the game and playing at least one drive, whatever side of the ball you're on, you are not going to be ready.
Yeah, I agree.
You're just not going to be ready to play football.
So it's odd you brought up Kansas City because my one big takeaway is there's new weapons in KC, but it's still the same old Pat Mahomes. Oh boy, is he there.
Yep.
He tore Arizona up. I mean, we're talking 5 touchdowns, 360 passing yards, almost 77% completion percentage I saw today. And they scored on 7 of their first 9 drives.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, I know they lost Hill, and I'm down on them this year. I'm just waiting, but I'm down on them. But man, if there was anything to take away, he said, "Dude, you're an idiot." To me.
Yeah, I mean, you can take the players out of the system, but it's still Reed. It's still Bieniemy. They're gonna find ways to screw up defenses and make them think one thing and go the other way.
Yeah,
that's why everyone was telling me don't draft Clyde Edwards-Helaire in fantasy. I said this dude has a great offensive line in front of him. He's the number one back. Yeah, they're gonna split. They're gonna have that Pacheco guy in there. They're gonna have who's the other guy in there?
Ronald Jones.
They're gonna have people rotating, but he's still gonna be the number one. It's great offense, great offensive line. He's gonna get touches. He scored 2 touchdowns.
Yep, he looked great actually. That was probably his best game as a pro so far, I would say. But yeah, that's my big takeaway as well. Is Mahomes is still real as ever.